Unique Ways with Thomas Gerard emerges with people from all walks of life who, through their own unique angle, succeed and flourish. Enjoy the ride and welcome to Unique Ways, an audio podcast. Hey everyone, welcome to Unique Ways with Thomas Gerard, an audio podcast. Got a really great guest on today. I'll describe her briefly. After undergrad, she enrolled in the master's program Designer as author and entrepreneur at the School of Visual Arts in New York City, studying under Stephen Heller. After graduation, she worked for Graphis Magazine, New York City's Olympic bid, and Pentagram under partner Michael Bierut. Please join me in welcoming Jennifer Kinon. Welcome.
Hi, Thomas. Glad to be here. Thank you.
Are you ready for 20 questions?
I am ready for 20 questions.
Okay, question one. Tell me a little bit more about yourself. What do you do?
I am co-founder of Champions Design, a branding, design, and strategy agency with headquarters in New York City and San Francisco.
Great. Just a note for the audience, if you guys are interested in other Pentagram episodes, be sure to check out the featured episode with Lisa Strasfeld. Question two, what's a key piece of knowledge that makes you different?
A key piece of knowledge that makes me different is my experience as a Division I athlete in college. It gave me great insight in how to work as part of a team and also how to push through failures. When you're an athlete, you win some, you lose some, and you need to learn how to learn from them and move on quickly.
Nice. Okay, so question three, why this of all things? Why do you do what you do?
I believe in the power of design. I believe design can share information. I believe design can persuade. And there's nothing more powerful than communication.
Great. So some people struggle with number four, but the question is, what does your future look like?
Thomas, tomorrow is election day in the United States of America. The country is making a big decision whether we will elect Kamala Harris as our next president or the other candidate. And I'm feeling optimistic in this moment. It changes hour by hour, minute by minute. But I'm really looking forward to the world that she will lead us into and out of.
Nice. And five, we say, is unique to this show. The question is, let's talk about location. How does the notion of place play into what you do?
This was a tricky question. I find location to be situational in our craft because so much communication happens digitally.
Mm.
We need to communicate globally at times, but then you also have the opportunity to work in very specific experiential moments. An example of this was our work with Carnegie Hall, just a brick and mortar building on a street corner in New York City that has so much history, and dealing with that specific time and that specific place and making sure that that experience is consistent on digital and social and website is really important. Similarly, our office is on Avenue A in the East Village and has been there for all 15 years of Champions Design. And that giant window from our storefront that looks out over Avenue A is a big part of just who we are. And it really forms us knowing, our neighborhood and what has happened there historically. So it's a broad and sweeping answer, but I think it's really a situational thing. We've learned so much with our work with Carol Coletta, who is a real leader in the creative placemaking movement across the country, about what public spaces can do for a community and how just being physically together is so important. So location is critical in any communication. It's knowing where it's going to go out and how it's going to be perceived based on where it will be experienced.
Great, I love that. So question 6, if you had to start from the beginning, what advice would you give your former younger self?
Really just one word. I would tell myself to relax. I'm still working on it today, but the more you can appreciate the moment you're in, better things come.
What's a day in your life like?
My days are scheduled hour by hour to the minute to make sure all the pieces move at home and in the business. It's a very structured time in my life that I'm enjoying very much, working with the team in a hybrid setup and making sure that every need is met. It's a very structured day.
Great. 8 is around lifelong learning. It's a popular topic. How do you stay up to date?
I am very fortunate. I co-founded Champions Design with Bobby Martin. And because we have had two founders of the company, we have both had opportunities to step away from the company and refresh our learning and experience. At the beginning, we were both teaching in the graduate program at the School of Visual Arts and staying fresh by being close to the students. And then in 2016, I stepped away from the agency to work in-house on Hillary Clinton's presidential campaign. That was an amazing opportunity to just refresh on how things run, how design works, what the morass of social graphics is. It was an amazing infusion of energy into the company. And now Bobby is stepping away and also, seeing sort of a whole new world out there.
Great. 9 is around tools. Can you talk about your use of digital and analog tools?
I am almost exclusively digital. Our agency is primarily Apple and Adobe. Because we are hybrid, Figma has had a huge impact on our work and our collaboration. It has really opened up a communication platform that is so similar to how we work in the office. In our office, we have huge, giant pin boards where everybody can be looking at the same piece of art all day long and sharing, and one person adding and another person taking away. And we've really been able to replicate that in Figma. And it's an amazing a platform for our collaboration. And similarly, Slack makes communication so easy, so much less cumbersome than just handling emails constantly. So we're using all of them, all the digital tools.
Great. So halfway number 10, how do you deal with work life or life work balance?
That sort of takes me back to your question about what is your day like. It is, the work-life balance is all managed by scheduling. Every Sunday night, I sit down with my week ahead. I sit down with my list of goals of what I need to do, and I really make that plan to hour by hour balance what I can give to work and what I can give to life each week.
Great. And if you weren't doing what you do now, what might you be doing?
I like to think that I would be an international spy or some sort of operative where I day to day, I really wish that I could do the same sort of puzzle solving that we do as branding consultants, but also mix in a bit of the physical, like needing to move your body through space and needing to move your body through time. So I miss the like having physical requirements be part of the work I do. So I don't know, international spy is goofy, but something where you are conditioning, for the work, for the puzzle solving that you're doing.
Nice. And what would you not like to do with your career?
I hate getting my fingernails dirty.
Mm.
So when I think of like a career, I don't want to like have to dig in the dirt. I wish I loved it. I admire gardeners and people who cultivate gorgeous roses and plants and are out there day by day. But I am grateful. I do appreciate the digital realm.
How about a favorite word, quote, or sentence?
A favorite word, quote, or sentence. I One that has held me in good stead is the I is the old saying, keep it simple, stupid. Um, I think I had like a pencil a little quarter size like golf pencil that had keep it simple, stupid embossed on it when I was in graduate school. And I go back to it any time we're working on a project, because it's really true that the very best ideas are the simple ideas. And if you have to keep adding to something, it's probably because the idea is not strong enough.
Mm.
So if you always go back and remember to keep it simple, it helps. The extra stupid part gives you sort of the KISS acronym, and is a little poke to not forget.
Great. 14. Do you have a least favorite word, quote, or sentence?
I hate it when someone says it is what it is,
Mm.
because that just sounds like giving up. I it for it has become such a common refrain, maybe, but I just, whenever that one comes out, I just feel like we've given up here. We haven't, we're not we're not in it together right now. We need to push a little harder.
Nice. And you're choosing one word to describe yourself. What word do you choose?
I would choose hopeful. I
Mm.
think that's the most important thing to be. Um, I try to remain hopeful, especially today, the day before election day.
What keeps you up at night?
At night, it's all the little tiny things that keep me up. The little things that, when you're laying there, you just want to grab your phone and make a note. You want to get up and do that one little thing that you couldn't get done. They just start to pile up, and they're so hard to resist. The big existential things, there's not much you can do about them when you're laying there, but it's the little things that you can't let go, or the goofy thing you said, or I'm sure something I say on this podcast will keep me up tonight.
Mm. Okay. And final stretch here. What's a dream you're chasing?
First woman president of the United States of America.
Mm. What inspires you?
My team. My team always keeps me inspired. We have a lot of different lived experiences on the team. We have pledged to be vulnerable to each other and say the hard thing. And I really enjoy working as part of a team and draw a lot of energy out of that.
Advice. Any advice you'd like to share?
Always have a plan.
Mm.
Always have a plan. And I think the elevated way of saying that now that they talk about on podcasts and in books is visioning. But I think I'm a little more blue collar about it, and I do believe a plan. If you have a plan, you're ready.
Finally, number 20. How can our listeners keep tabs on you, and what's our call to action?
Listeners can keep tabs at Champions Design on Instagram and Threads. Championsdesign.com is our URL. We post our case studies. And today's call to action is vote.
Nice. I love it. Well, thank you so much for joining today. I'm glad to continue to build out this New York City connection, and so happy to have you on today. Thanks.
Thank you, Thomas.
If you liked today's podcast, I encourage you to have a listen to other episodes. You can easily find them at uniqueways.ca or wherever you find podcasts. You can also find us on social media. And thank you. It's you that makes these great, and it's you who these are for. Stay tuned for more Unique Ways.